What do you think of when you hear the word Florida? Vacations? Families escaping the snow and sleet of a northern winter to fly south for a holiday? You hear the word Florida and you think of sunshine, white beaches, blue water. You think of fishing off the Keys. Sailing on the Gulf. Shopping in Palm Beach. Picking a winner at Hialeah. Or watching Major League Baseball stars warming up in spring training. You think of Miami Beach, of beachfront hotels and outdoor swimming pools gleaming in the sun. When the sun goes down, glamorous nightclubs lighting up the sky in a blaze of neon. And a blare of music. What does Florida make you think of? Why, the nation's playground, the vacationer's paradise. That's all Florida is. Everybody knows that. Well, everybody happens to be wrong. In the past few years, the face of Florida has undergone a dramatic change. To a scientist, Florida is Cape Kennedy and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, known to the world as NASA. With its space towers and missile ranges, and partly because NASA is in Florida, partly because so many people are moving to Florida, the aeronautics industry is flourishing here. The Martin Company manufactures missiles at Orlando. Minneapolis Honeywell makes electronic equipment near St. Petersburg. Sperry Rand is at Gainesville. National Airlines is headquartered at Miami. Eastern Airlines has 8,000 employees scattered throughout the state. And from the Atlantic Ocean to the Gulf Coast, industry is growing in such leaps and bounds that Florida is becoming a center for higher education at such institutions as Brevard Engineering College, Rollins College Extension, and Florida State University. New engineering and scientific doctorate programs have been added to the University of Florida. As Florida's scientific and educational centers have grown, so have its industries. At Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, a leading southern cruise port, 100 industries do a multi-million-dollar business annually. Industry has added new architecture to the Florida landscape. Towering skyscrapers like the Prudential Life Insurance Building at Jacksonville. giant plants such as Anheuser-Busch at Tampa, and the Gulf American Land Corporation building in Miami. Inside these buildings, the world of big business embraces everything from the latest electronic equipment produced by automation to the essential individual talents of art directors and artists. And speaking of art, another change in the face of Florida is its new cultivation of the arts, centered at Miami. Miami? Who thinks of Miami as a cultural center? Well, they think of it that way at the Miami Opera Guild, where opera is presented during the winter season each year. They think of it that way at the Coconut Grove Playhouse, where Broadway plays are performed by Broadway stars from December to May each year. They think of it that way at the Greater Miami Philharmonic Society, where a regular series of 28 symphony concerts are presented each year. And certainly they think of it that way at Miami's newest cultural center, the Gulf American Art Galleries, which occupy an entire floor of the Gulf American Building. Here you'll find the great 19th century Impressionists and Post-Impressionists. Degas, Cézanne, Gauguin, Toulouse-Lautrec, the 20th century Cubists, Marc Chagall, Georges Braque. Here are Renoir, Modigliani, Spain's incomparable Picasso, France's Raoul Dupy, Mexico's Diego Rivera. And speaking of Mexico, here in a special collection at the Gulf American Galleries are the 2,000-year-old sculptures and artifacts of the ancient Mayans, whose empire flourished along the southern coast of Mexico many centuries ago. Art, industry, science, education. These are Florida's expanding horizons, and they've brought about another change in the Sunshine State. Time was when new families came to Florida only to vacation or retire. Today they come here to live. And so, new suburban communities like this one are springing up across the Florida landscape. This is Cape Coral near Fort Myers on the Gulf Coast. Here, where waterfront homes look out on Venetian waterways, you can live almost like a millionaire on a moderate income. And the living is not only easy, but healthy, as any baby could tell you. It's an outdoor life with tennis, yachting and fishing at the Yacht and Racket Club, and Junior's own base of operations, the Youth Key Club. And the town demonstrates Florida's growing interest in scientific and mechanical skills at the local hobby center. And for special recreation in Cape Coral is Cape Coral Gardens. With the magnificent roses and prize-winning hibiscus for which the Flower State is famous. The gardens seen against a backdrop of remarkable fountains known as the waltzing waters, transformed by the play of lights into rainbow colors. And for children of all ages, special entertainment by a group of acrobatic porpoises. Speaking of culture, a most impressive spot here is the Garden of Patriots, reminding children and their parents of their American heritage. Here, the most famous sculpture is the bronze bust of John F. Kennedy by Robert Burke, as dramatic a memorial to the young president as Florida's other memorial, Cape Kennedy. Both are striking indications of Florida's changing face, and both are only a beginning, a promise of things to come. Now, what do you think of when you hear the word Florida? You think of white beaches, blue water, and the launching towers of NASA. Of Miami Beach nightclubs, and Miami's Gulf American art galleries. You think of Hialeah and university studies. You think of beachfront hotels and the skyscrapers of industry. You think of vacationing tourists and of suburban homes and gardens, of families, of living. Florida is still the nation's playground, the vacationer's paradise, still a wonderful place to visit, but a rapidly growing cultural center and an even better place to live.